Hello everyone, and welcome back to Daily Dollars. Today's update is significant if you rely on Social Security or Supplemental Security Income, SSI. We're diving into this week's payments, recent changes to benefits, and what you need to know to stay ahead financially. We will also explore the recent update on the Social Security Fairness Act and the reasons for delaying its implementation. Before we start, take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to Daily Dollars for informative updates. We would appreciate that. Let's get into it. First up, let's talk about this Friday, January 31. Millions of Americans across the country will be receiving their SSI payments. Normally, these payments are scheduled for the first of the month. However, when the first falls on a weekend or a federal holiday, the Social Security Administration adjusts the schedule to make sure you're not left waiting. That's why this month's payment is being sent out early on January 31. Now, let's talk numbers. Due to the 2025 Cost of Living Adjustment, or COLA, there's been an increase in SSI payments. This year, the maximum monthly benefit is $967 for individuals and $1,450 for couples. That's a small but meaningful jump from last year's maximums of $943 and $1,415, respectively. But while this increase is helpful, it's worth noting that it's smaller than the adjustments we've seen in recent years. For example, in 2024, COLA increased benefits by 3.2%, and in 2023, during a period of high inflation, we saw a much larger jump of 8.7%. This year's adjustment reflects a more stable inflation rate compared to those earlier spikes. So, what happens if your payment doesn't show up on time? The SSA advises waiting 3 working days before contacting them. Remember, weekends and federal holidays don't count as working days, so keep that in mind if you're planning to follow up. Also, just to clear up a common question, if you received 2 payments in December, that wasn't an error. It happens when the first of the month falls on a weekend or holiday, and the SSA adjusts the schedule. The second payment in December was actually for January, so no need to report it or worry about overpayment. This year's Cost of Living Adjustment, COLA, for Social Security benefits has sparked discussions among experts and the public alike. At 2.5%, the 2025 adjustment is the lowest since 2021, but is still considered historically average. However, many Americans continue to face challenges with rising costs for essentials such as housing, food, and auto insurance. Looking ahead, here's what you need to know. If you're an SSI recipient, your next payment will be made on February 28. That's another instance where the first of the month falls on a weekend, so the SSA will send out payments a day early to avoid delays. For those receiving Social Security retirement income, your payments will continue as scheduled throughout February. Now, to recap about the Social Security Fairness Act. The Social Security Administration recently announced that implementing the new changes like retroactive payments and monthly benefit increases could take over a year. Naturally, this has sparked a lot of frustration, and many people have shown their strong opinions over this delay. Millions of retirees are waiting for increased benefits, and this news is rather unpleasant as people were hoping for quick implementation. Many experts believe that implementing the Social Security Fairness Act will be very tricky as this bill has passed without any comprehensive implementation plan or funding. On top of that, recent discussions have highlighted several challenges surrounding retroactive Social Security payments. For example, widows whose benefits were previously reduced to zero might now qualify for retroactive payments. However, those who didn't apply because they were told they weren't eligible may miss out entirely, creating disparities simply due to lack of earlier applications. Additionally, around 110,000 individuals affected by WEP and GPO have passed away since January 2024, complicating efforts to distribute unpaid benefits to estates or survivors. This process is further hindered by outdated personal information such as addresses or bank details. On top of this, over 500,000 cases of long offset benefits require re-evaluation, with about 100,000 needing manual review despite efforts to automate payments. There are many questions like, how should the SSA prioritize payments? Should they focus on retirees currently receiving benefits, or should they address retroactive payments first? These are tough questions, and without clear direction, the process becomes even more complicated. Another factor slowing things down is the lack of clear communication from the SSA. Many individuals affected by the Fairness Act aren't even aware that they're eligible for retroactive payments. The SSA has a responsibility to inform the public, but with limited resources, their outreach efforts have been inconsistent. This means some people may miss out on benefits simply because they don't know they need to update their information or submit a claim. Addressing these issues will demand significant resources and possibly additional congressional funding to streamline the process and ensure fair outcomes. So, what can you do while these delays are being addressed? First, make sure your information with the SSA is up to date. If you haven't already, create a My Social Security account to monitor your benefits and ensure there are no issues with your records. That's it for today. There are a lot of comments saying that these are the same old updates and that there have been no major developments in the last few weeks. This is true. SSA has not provided an update on a clear timeline for when these changes will be implemented. We can understand your frustration at this time. Comments your thoughts down below. If you found this update helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Daily Dollars, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.